Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back for another episode of Principal Sit Down. I am honored to be sitting next to recently inducted. Tell us your name.
Pranjal Kashyap.
And
Mrs. Simna.
Mrs. Simna.
I was not recently inducted.
She was not recently inducted. Were you
But
inducted
I'm very
a long time
proud.
ago?
I was, a very long time ago.
Well, so we're 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
There you go.
So we're here to talk about Student Leadership Corps today,
That's
right?
right.
Some of the work, I'm certainly very, very proud as principal of the work you've done. Mrs. Simna, can you give us a 10-second, what is SLC really?
SLC stands for Student Leadership Corps. It is a combination of the previously separate entities of Class Office and Student Council. So we used to have 2 separate, and we combined them for the first time officially this year. And so SLC is sort of like old. It's basically student council, but it's made up of all of your individually elected class officers.
Right, and I'm not sure if you knew this, and maybe you did, but as one of the things I talked to the leadership group coming into this year was, I need leaders, not just event planners.
Right.
So were you part of SLC this year?
I was. I actually have been part of student council since freshman year, but officially this is my first year in SLC.
Oh, congratulations. So are you running for office next year?
I am. I'm running for class president.
Well, she's the vice president. She's very modest. She's the vice president right now of junior class.
Wow.
And now she's running for president.
So what's your platform? Give it to us. You have the camera. It's your opportunity.
Honestly, my goal for senior year is to have more casual events because we have a huge focus senior. Like we have prom, we have homecoming. We have to make that the best as possible. But I want more like socials and picnics. My goal right now, my current plan is to have a senior picnic in like March, April, so we can all hang around, have a nice catered lunch, hang out, play games, and just have fun as a class.
Some casual social time together. So I will tell you this, right? Years ago, when Mrs. Simna and I started together, and we started in the same year, 2008, we used to have more class-level social mixers, right? And so I like that idea of trying to kind of, and whether or not you knew you were restoring a kind of certain culture, I think that's a great idea. What's the best way that you, Pranjal, have found that you can help be a leader in this school?
I think it's just talking with your classmates because I sometimes just pitch random ideas like to my friends like, would you guys go to this thing? They're like, honestly, no. It's not something I care about. Right. So it just grounds me in the moment, but it's like talking with your classmates gets you that information you need to help them have more fun and get more connected.
Sure.
And something Pranjal won't highlight about herself, so I will gladly do it for her, is that it takes an incredible amount of work to be a student leader. And a lot of the times these class elections, they tend to go the way of popularity contests, and that's fine. Everyone has their favorites, but I would just encourage the student body to understand that people like Pranjal and people like Ashi Gupta and a whole mess of officers this year are working incredibly hard behind the scenes, doing a lot of things that are really not flashy. I mean, like creating Google Forms and sorting spreadsheets and making little posters and signs. Like that all takes a lot of time out of an already packed schedule that they all have because they're all leaders and they're all really involved. And so it takes an incredible amount of work. And what you want is someone like Pranjal who's a hard worker.
Right. And someone like you who has some vision and direction, right?
A little bit.
But so here's the thing. So for all of the students out there who might watch this, every week before school and through homeroom, you're here, right? And so when people sign up and go, I want to be class president, that means you want to show up 7:30 or 7:45, and you want to put in the time and have sometimes the principal tell you no, right, after all your hard work, but sometimes tell you yes, right? So what do you see for next year? Pranjal, what do you see for next year for Padua, for SLC? Go wherever you want with it.
Like I said before, I see more of like that social class mix thing, and I feel like there are like minor changes that we can make to the school. Like I know this past year, Emily Trong, she talked about having female hygiene products in the bathrooms, which is like a minor change, but it's so beneficial to the school and it's so beneficial to the student body. And I feel like there are a lot more opportunities to make those kind of small changes to have a huge impact in our school.
Yeah, and I want you to have that voice, right? This experience is about 750 high school students, not about us who have gone through this plenty of times at this point. Mrs. Simna, anything you want to add about your Student Leadership Corps?
I'm incredibly proud of all the work they've done this year. I think over the past 2 years since I took over student council, I've seen a dramatic increase in school spirit and attendance, and that all has to do with the work that these leaders are doing and there's just sort of word of mouth. Like Pranjal's example is a great one, is just taking the idea to the students. Like, let's not just sit here in a bubble and figure out what we think would be cool. Let's ask our friends. And that kind of social engagement is helping to make the classes, I think, closer with each other,
Yeah.
and helping to encourage that kind of, you know, family atmosphere that a lot of people in your class especially have been saying, you know, it was rough, right? Because your first year was like our hybrid
Yeah,
online
That's right, it
school
was
year,
hybrid,
right?
exactly.
So like you didn't get the benefit of a lot of the typical things that we do with the freshman class to help generate that kind of, you know, school participation. So by the time you're like not freshmen anymore, it's all over, and like all those opportunities, they're fewer and farther between. So I think I'm just really proud of the work over the past couple of years, and you've been involved since I took over, of all of that community that we're building.
So you'll be happy to know this. I do exit interviews with seniors, and I meet with as many as I can between spring break and basically graduation. And I ask them what were some of their favorite memories, right? And so assemblies, rallies, CFO, Olympic Day, and football games, right? Student leadership course, student leadership course. So all these things that you have provided, the seniors are telling me that these have been really some of the highlights, having these times with their friends, things that other places don't do, the spirit weeks, and right, so good for you. All right, I'm springing this on you. Any closing thoughts?
If you cut a hole in a net, there are less holes in the net now.
Play loud, ponder that one. Pat, have a great week.